DNS. DNS is like your phone's contact list. You don't know the numbers of every person in your contact list by heart. So what do? You just type the name of the person and you click call. Your phone takes care of the rest. DNS is the same way, but for computers. You don't know the IP addresses of all the websites that you visit. So what do? You just type the website in the search bar and your browser goes and gets the IP and takes you to that website. So DNS records have different fields that have to be populated in order for it to resolve the IP address. I'm only going to cover the 5 main ones that you're going to need to know because you're going to see them most often. Let's start with A records. A is the very first letter in the alphabet, so think of DNS as going to the very first record, which is A. A record is literally just a host name to an IP. IPv4 to be specific. Quad A, think of something bigger than an IPv4 address, which is IPv6. Quad A is just a normal A record, but for IPv6 instead. Pointer record. DNS goes one way, name to IP. Pointer records goes the other way, IP to name. Let's say for some reason you know the actual IP of the website you're trying to go to. The browser is going to go, what website is associated to this IP that the user gave me? And then it's going to resolve that. That's literally it. CNAME record. Just think of nickname. Imagine you have a company, Resitech. We do everything with regard to IT. I also began selling chocolates. I'm not going to sell the chocolates within the building that I'm doing all the IT stuff. I'm going to open up a separate building. I'm going to sell the chocolates from there. I'm not going to rename my original shop. What I'm going to do is put up a sign saying, hey, we also sell chocolates. If you want those, go down the block and check out that store. I won't have to change my main name and I can direct users to the other shop. So that's what CNAME does. You could have multiple subdomains and you could point them to each other just using CNAME records. The final boss, MX records. I'm kidding. It's not a final boss. It's not hard to understand. MX, short for mail exchange. M, mail. That's how you're going to remember it. When you send an email to somebody from a company, you don't use a Hotmail, you don't use an Outlook, you don't use MSN or whatever other conventional domains are used, right? You're going to use companyname.com. MX is how you associate a mail server to your domain. Typically, mail servers use the following naming convention: mail.websitename.com. I actually don't have a website yet, but I'm using it as an example. Resitech.com. When you send an email with that domain, your email server is going to go out and see what server the resitech.com domain belongs to. It's going to use MX records for that. The MX record for my domain is going to say resitech.com belongs to me. Send that email to my email servers. That's how you get your email from one server to the company's mail server. I want you guys to remember one very important tip. If you are having issues with your network, with your computer, you can't get out to a website, it's almost always a DNS issue. You could be there hours trying to figure out what's causing the issue and you overlook DNS. Make DNS the first thing you look at when you're troubleshooting something because it's more than likely always going to be the culprit.